Hello dear students, welcome to the YouTube channel of CLE Degree College. In the previous class, we have discussed regarding consideration, and today I am going to discuss the concept that is free consent. So in this free consent, let us discuss what is the meaning of free consent and the various factors affecting the consent, that is free consent, and the first factor, that is coercion, the meaning of coercion, and few examples, the acts which are being forbidden by the law, that we are going to discuss. So let us begin with this meaning of consent, free consent. A free consent is a consent which is to be free when it is not caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, as well as mistake, as per section 14. So whenever a person wants to enter into an agreement, he has to enter into an agreement with free consent. He should not be influenced by or should not be caused by any type of coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, as well as mistake. If his consent is caused by these following factors, these given factors, whichever I have told you, then it cannot be said as the consent is free. So such kind of consent might become void or voidable one based on the agreement. So that is, consent is nothing but it is said to be free when it is not caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, as well as the mistake. After discussing this, the meaning, let us look after the various factors affecting the consent. So already these points we have covered up in this particular meaning itself, but let us see in detail which are these factors. So coercion, this is the one of the factor which is affecting the consent, and this factor is given under section 15. Thereafter, undue influence, this is also one of the factor which is affecting the consent, and this is being given under section 16. Fraud is also one of the factor, and it is being covered under section 17. Misrepresentation, this is given in section 18, and mistake. So the provisions of the mistakes are being given in section 20, 21 as well as 22 section. So in this way, these are the various factors which we need to discuss in detail. So let us move towards the first factor which is affecting the consent, and that is coercion. So first of all, we would like to know what is coercion. Coercion is nothing but it is a threat or force used by one party against another party for compelling him to enter into an agreement. Okay, so what we are seeing that Under coercion, a threat is given to the other party. Force will be given to the other party, or he is forced to get under the contract. Okay, so if such by giving threat or by forcing the another party, making him to enter into an agreement, if you carry out such kind of activity, so that will be covered under this coercion. So it is a threat, it is a force used by one party against the another party for compelling him or getting him to enter into an agreement. That is called as a coercion. So here what kind of examples do we see in this coercion? Usually whatever the acts has been given here are given under forbidden, abandoned, prohibited by this IPC, that is Indian Penal Code. Let us see one by one. First one is a threat to shoot. So if any person gives a threat to shoot for getting into an agreement, definitely it is not a consent which is freely given, and definitely such kind of agreement if you do on the basis of threat, that will be a void agreement which is not enforced by the law. Further, murder. So if you give any order to any person to murder the other party, so if you have made such kind of agreement concerning the murder, so that is also completely forbidden by the law, and it comes under the Indian Penal Code, and definitely it becomes a void agreement, and it is being covered under coercion. Theft. So if any person makes an agreement to carry on the theft activity, that is also covered under IPC, and definitely that is also cannot be enforced by the law itself. Attempt to commit a suicide, giving wrong evidence, etc. All these are the acts which are being forbidden by the law, that is Indian Penal Code, and if you carry out such kind of activity, okay, so definitely these are illegal one, and these illegal acts are already being forbidden by the law itself, that is Indian Penal Code. And not only this, there may be acts like unlawful detaining the property. So what you do sometime to make other person get under the contract, what you do, you unlawfully detain his property, and such if act is made to get a consent, that cannot be said as a free consent, because obviously such whatever the acts do, we see that these are made totally based on the threat, okay, forcibly. So if any person, okay, force another person, and by the force, by the threat, if another person gives his consent, then we cannot say that it is a free consent, because with the pressure, with the force, with the threat, he has agreed for that particular act or getting into an agreement. So that is cannot be said as a free consent. So these all things will come under this first factor which is affecting the consent, that is coercion. So in simple terms, what is coercion? Coercion is nothing but it is a threat, it is a force, used by one party against the another party for compelling him to enter into an agreement, that is coercion, right? So I hope you got the concept which I wanted to discuss today. In the next class I shall continue the remaining part. Till then, bye, and please do take care.